Shaq, you don't want to make an enemy out of me. What you said, I just pointed out, was factually inaccurate. You should be ashamed of yourself, Shaq. Don't ever bring that nonsense in here again.
Let's dive right in, because this one has NBA fans absolutely buzzing. Tracy McGrady just dropped a bold take that's got everyone talking, and then Shaquille O'Neal jumped in and took things to an entirely new level. What started as a hot opinion turned into a full-blown debate that's lighting up the basketball world.
Championship quality team. Replace me with Kobe with Shaq. I don't win a championship. You don't think I could carry the Lakers to a championship? Like, I've never had the opportunity.
Correct.
I felt like if I was put in that position to win a championship, I damn sure would show up and do what I do in the playoffs to elevate my team to that level. I just never had the chance. So do I get diminished because I never won a championship?
Here's the setup. Tracy McGrady was on ESPN's First Take when he made a headline-grabbing claim. He said that if you swapped him in for Kobe Bryant on those early 2000s Lakers teams with Shaq, the outcome wouldn't have changed. In other words, according to T-Mac, the Lakers still would have dominated, and those championship banners would look exactly the same.
Of all time, who do you think is the best guard 1v1?
Kobe. I think Kobe. I truly believe Kobe, if there was a one-on-one tournament, no one would be better. That's who he was. That's what he did. That's how he worked on his game every single day. For that reason. He's just a natural-born killer on the court.
He doubled down too, saying the Lakers would have still stacked up those rings, built that dynasty, and never missed a beat. But hold up, that statement alone sent shockwaves through the basketball world. Because we're talking about Kobe Bryant, one of the most ruthless competitors and coldest assassins the game has ever seen. What makes this even more ironic is that T-Mac himself once admitted that if there were a one-on-one tournament, Kobe would win it. He literally called Kobe a natural-born killer on the court, straight from his own mouth, not just fan chatter. And to be fair, Kobe returned the respect too, once saying that T-Mac was the toughest player he ever had to guard.
You just mentioned Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
He works for us. Magic, you say. You couldn't say enough good things about him.
This dude was unbelievable, man.
How so?
Unbelievable. Because he could do everything. I mean, I think I told him one time, I said, bro, you could do everything I could do on the court, but you were 6'10". Literally everything. I mean, he had no weaknesses, offensively or defensively. And he was a nightmare.
That's genuine respect coming straight from the Mamba himself. These two weren't just rivals on the court, they actually shared the grind. Both trained together in Germany during the off-season, pushing each other to new limits. And to this day, T-Mac still jokes that he managed to snag a one-on-one win against Kobe during one of those sessions. Whether that's fact or friendly banter, it just adds another layer to their legendary connection.
Yeah,
I did win.
We didn't play one-on-one.
What did play one-on-one?
We wasn't keeping score. What we were doing,
Who wasn't keeping score?
we were working out individually, and then we were working on our stuff on the post. Let's keep a score.
11-3.
What?
11-3.
I
This is
don't
11-3.
remember that.
I'm not
You
gonna pull a
can't.
number out of thin air. I remember
you
specifically.
can't.
It's okay though.
No, it wasn't.
It's all right, man. You had an off day. It's okay. It happens to the best of us, man.
So
It
you-
didn't happen to me that day.
But here's where things took a turn, Shaq's response. Instead of laughing it off or standing up for Kobe, his longtime teammate, his brother-in-arms, the guy he won 3 straight championships with, Shaq actually agreed. He doubled down on T-Mac's claim, saying that if McGrady had been his running mate instead of Kobe, the results would have been the same. That one comment flipped the whole conversation on its head and left fans stunned.
I don't think I could have won 3 with T-Mac. I think I could have.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, what about Vince? Me and Vince.
I feel like
3 in a row.
Shaq didn't even hesitate. He looked dead serious and said, T-Mac is right. Then he took it a step further. I could have won 3 with him. I could have won 2 with Vince Carter. I could have won 6 with Steph Curry. Just like that, he made it sound like any elite scorer with handles and a jumper could have stepped into Kobe's shoes and collected rings alongside the Big Diesel. That's when the conversation exploded. Fans were instantly divided, half defending Shaq's dominance, the other half calling it blatant disrespect to Kobe's legacy. And right in the middle of that storm, Rob G from Fox Sports Radio wasn't about to let Shaq's words slide unnoticed.
Shaq is credited with being the most dominant player in NBA history. For my money, he is. He is the most physically dominant, imposing player that I've ever seen. Having said that, for Shaq to come out and say, you put Tracy McGrady with me instead of Kobe, we're winning those 3 chips. Shaq, let me take you down memory lane real quick so that we know exactly what we're talking about when it comes to the greatness of Kobe Bryant. You had T-Mac before T-Mac in Orlando. His name was Penny Hardaway. Penny Hardaway was a 2-time first-team All-NBA player, 3rd in MVP voting when he played with Shaq one year in 1996. And you know what happened? Shaq got swept out of the playoffs. 94, 95, 96. 2 of those years with who at the time was the Tracy McGrady, the Kobe Bryant, the Dwayne Wade of that league. Moves over to the Lakers. Swept out of the playoffs. 1998, 1999. 5 times before Kobe reached his ascension, you were swept out of the postseason. One of those years in Los Angeles, you had 4 All-Stars on your team getting swept out by the Spurs. It wasn't until Kobe Bryant made the leap from, hey, this kid's got a lot of potential to, hey, this guy is legitimately a star player, that they got over the hump. And now I'm going to work backwards from that 3-peat. In 2002, Shaq, deservedly finals MVP, dominant in that run. You know, Kobe led the team in scoring 10 times in that run.
He was incredible.
Shaq led him in scoring 8 times. So even though Shaq was the guy in the finals, Kobe was the guy all the way up until they got there. 2001, Kobe led the team in scoring 8 times. Shaq led the team in scoring 8 times. So in 2001, they were at a minimum equal, right? During that playoff run as players. Again, Shaq, because it goes against the Eastern Conference, Cook's in the finals. So the assumption is this is Shaq's team. Shaq's the better player. Shaq was the finals MVP. Going back to 2000, the first one, make no bones about it, that was the pinnacle Shaq. MVP, easily the best player in the year of the year. The most dominant season by the most dominant player I think we've seen from Shaq. You know, in the 2000 Western Conference Finals, Game 7, the one where they were down by 15, where Phil Jackson says on record, we might as well pack it in, guys. We're not winning this game. It's over. You know who led that comeback?
Who that?
It wasn't Shaq. It was Kobe. In that Game 7, decided Game 7, Kobe led the team in points, rebounds, assists, blocks. Had the highest plus minus on the team, or of the starters. That wasn't Shaq. That was Kobe. Hell, I could make a case that Shaq, not only are you not winning 3 championships with Tracy McGrady, you might not even win 1. You do not get by Portland if Kobe doesn't go supernova in Game 7. And now I'm going to bring feelings into it. Shaq, you don't want to make an enemy out of me. What you said, I just pointed out, was factually inaccurate. But to make it worse, in an effort to build up your own mythology, in an effort to remind the younger generation just how good you were, you disrespected the best player you ever played with. You disrespected the man who you spoke at his funeral because you wanted to make yourself feel better. You should be ashamed of yourself, Shaq. Don't ever bring that nonsense in here again.
Rob G didn't come with emotions, he came with facts. And his breakdown hit hard. He reminded everyone that as dominant as Shaq was, he wasn't exactly swimming in rings before Kobe reached his prime. Year after year, the Big Diesel got bounced from the playoffs, until Kobe leveled up and changed everything, and Rob didn't stop there. He brought up a name every old school fan remembers, Penny Hardaway. Shaq already had a T-Mac-type superstar next to him back in Orlando. What happened then? No rings, no banners, just early exits. That's not slander, that's history. Rob kept pulling receipts, digging into those Lakers playoff runs to prove what truly mattered. Kobe wasn't just along for the ride, he was the difference. Because this whole debate, it's not really about T-Mac. It's about the quiet disrespect aimed at Kobe's role in that dynasty. When Shaq says, I could have won with anybody. His not just rewriting history, his erasing the sacrifice, the obsession, and the mentality that defined Kobe Bryant. Let's be real, T-Mac was a generational talent. But even his biggest fans admit he never had that same edge, that I'm going to destroy you mindset that made Kobe different. That's why Shaq's comments hit so deep. They felt like a slap to the Mamba's legacy. Remember, this is the same Kobe who once said Shaq held him back. He believed they could have had 7 rings if Shaq had taken conditioning seriously. Instead, we got 3, and one of the biggest breakups in NBA history. Because the truth is, basketball isn't plug and play. You can't just swap out legends like spare parts. Kobe wasn't just skilled, he was ruthless, obsessed, and relentless in his pursuit of greatness. To his credit, T-Mac later cleared the air, saying, "Kobe's my brother. I'd never disrespect him like that." He admitted Kobe was probably the best player in the world by the time those second and third titles came around. T-Mac wasn't saying he was better, just that he believed he could have won with Shaq too, and honestly, that's fair. But even that admission proves the point. T-Mac knew Kobe's drive was one of one. So what do you think? Did Shaq go too far with his take, or was he just being brutally honest? Let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more basketball deep dives.